Hey there everyone, this is Cow, and actually it's PPR. We're having an all PPR video here because basically, to make a long story short, gain was bad and the audio was unlistenable, and so we started this maze here, and basically always test your everything. So this maze here was, like, I started this feeling really afraid because the way it's described makes it sound like the weirdest, most complicated thing in the universe. However, once you get here, you realize that it's actually a lot more straightforward, such as, that straightforward line that led me to land in the lava. So, basically, all it's saying, you've got 4 keys hidden in maze, and you've got 4, key card location. And when the top meter stops spinning, when it gets to 0, all the rooms rotate around, and so the junctions change, as you can appreciate now already. That's all there is to it. And you've got this big old maze here. Basically, you get to a card that you can see on a maze, and this took me a little bit to figure out, but all you really have to do is look at the other location also on the maze and get to that. So you get each card to each cage, and there you go. When you get the card, you got the lower timer that basically, sorry about that, is the time you get to get the key to the cage. I don't realize this until nearly the end, but look at me wandering around, dodging obstacles and making jumps. When I was playing, I was sure that when the timer was out, you took damage or anything, but no, that's clearly not the case. It's the fact that the maze, basically, the map tells you everything you need to know, and then you just need to adjust yourself. I think it's super clever, but I think that the description that comes ahead of time, before you start this event, makes it sound more daunting than it is, and probably, kind of creates this expectation that it's going to be this huge mess of a thing. Mind you, I went here, knowing that something was going to be afoot. Yeah, hold up, and you can crank up the speed so it's faster, so you can get to a variation faster. At this point already, I was getting into the idea that, okay, so what you're putting down is that I want to, I want to put it down. I want to put down to put down. I want to get to that dot there. So basically, it's all about waiting until things are in space where you can physically, because even though you're a computer, you're subject to gravity. And there we go. It's a reset. We've got cubes all over the place again. It's always about cube forever. That lava pit is really comfortable. So let's see if I figure it out this time. The rooms, oh yeah, see the way I just then I turned around, it's like, I think I'm starting to figure it out. Do I, though? Oh, no, I didn't, because I would have noticed that I was basically there. But it's okay. No, I did do, because okay. No, I was better at reading the map back then than me, PPR, I guess. Then you get a thwomp that's hidden by the HUD. That is a pretty swell thing to have. That's kind of cheap, actually. I don't think I actually noticed. But yeah, I think this place is super clever. Honestly, these are the mechanics that you could use to make an entire game just about this in and of itself. And here it's this part of a game. I've oft said how this game is just huge. There is an immense amount of content, and you've got all these pieces like this. You've got several full games, not just in terms of quantity, but in variety too. But yeah, at this point, it all gets a little bit, it's just okay. I think everything just turns out that everything is now almost in a straight line. It's kind of funny. Once you figure it out, it's actually really simple, but it's still really fun. It's like weird time-space detective work, where you're trying to find the clearest way, and then, gotta take into consideration when things turn around. It's like, okay, now everything is just handed to me on a silver platter. Just gotta avoid, the little Sparky that got a new job in a new game, where he is appreciated and has a lot of fun, made a lot of new friends, made connections. Just gotta just look at the map and go, alright, I wanna go here and there, and I turn around. Gotta make it on time, though, because, the timer is afoot. Then it's like, hooray, the map is empty. Birds are flying all up in this place. Freeing birds is what it's all about. And then it takes me an embarrassing amount of time to figure out what to do from now. Can you guess what you have to do? It's really subtle. The mace, they spin around. Then you're see, the reason why I was hesitating on using teleport is that I thought, won't it bring just me back out of the entire vault conundrum entirely? But see, there it says Vault Shift Maze Entrance if you actually bother. So there you go. That place is super neat. It's super neat. Like, I abuse the word super a lot, I realize. It's like, yeah, victory. Yeah, spike wall! Alright, Jeremy. So, something is happening. Yeah, Chow, you had an exclamation mark appear above yourself. Now we're gonna bless the spotlight here. Oh, it's all the birds, because we helped them out. They're all appearing by magic and giving us a gift. The rock's feather that you can't touch for now. Gotta know. It's not missing. Needs to turn to power up. There we go. We got a healthy glow. And now, things are getting distorted travesty for real. Hell yeah, the air dash. Gotta give it a try here, because if you dash, how they differ between male and female versions, because both are used differently in the wild. And yeah, this is where distorted travesty becomes distorted travesty. I get the feeling that this is giving me a lot of tools to get a lot of stuff out there on the overworld, honestly. And there we go. So, with all the LPs, you get to see the ideas that work. And this is an idea that works. Just give me a moment here. Back to Crazy Town. So yeah, this is super neat as a tutorial. Because, again, I think it's kind of interesting that the game, we're 30 hours in it. And we're still doing tutorials. But an air dash is a really big deal, and this is just kind of a neat, I like the flow of it. This just flows so well. Of course, we get some enemies around. They kind of alter the flow in a kind of a weird way, but whatevs, man. See, we got swarms are purple, can barely see them. Got a bird now in our inventory. It's all rainbow and flashing and happiness. I had no idea what to do. The saddest jump. But as you can tell by the fact that the video hasn't stopped, it was just a minor setback. So, how's it going? Yeah, so, I don't know, man. This is just such a great nifty little piece of candy in some ways. See, look at that. I get all the money, because everyone's always on me you don't get all the money, and that's why you can't buy all the things all the time. And here, nuts to that, yo. I just tank everything. It counts. It works. And here, you know what? Let's get even more distorted and more travestish. Any of you remembers this from the first game? Because they're back! Jerry in the Mary. And yeah, Primary Memory, I remember enjoying quite a bit. So yeah, it's the same idea. You hit them, and you get your air dash back. And at first, this is quite a finger puzzle to just kind of wrap your mind around a little bit, but it doesn't add all that much. Then you got these little enemies you can use. You can use it on little guys. You can avoid the spikes. You always should avoid spikes if you encounter one in the wild. You always got a bird in the top corner to tell you if you got it or not. It's a very clear indication. Every time I'm outside, I'm going to look for birds, and if there's a bird, finally finally can scan the vault orbs. Vault orbs all about orbing around, gonna boost themselves with an impressive speed. The speed of orb, it's around, it's aerodynamic. You know, you push it downstairs and it's not gonna bounce around, it's gonna dash through and cause damage. And wow, I'm staying on this text for a little bit here. Look at the beautiful icon. And this is where it's spelled out that it's a whole color field when the sphere and it's in sphere. That's when it becomes a sphere. And there's a fire burst is all like, man, nuts to that, y'all. I ain't got nothing to say about circles or just like bubble lead recolored. They're pretty cool. They take up room in here, of course. There ain't no color field. You just gotta bust it through. Gotta cause some violence without really having any tools. And I'm like, wait a second. Claire does significantly more damage. But that doesn't mean a whole lot because her resources are a little bit more limited. I find a balance between Jerry and Claire really interesting as the game grows. Anyway, I got destroyed by Marble Madness. It's kind of the saddest thing, but it's okay. And I'm like, wait, is that an enemy? Like, it didn't dawn on me the first time that these were, and I thought it was like a background, because nothing says background like a little face. Like, you touch them, they don't even hurt you. They're like the saddest little bald man, Freds. This has got a little face, and I just noticed that guy. Go away, Dash Chain. You're called useless data. That is the saddest name. Look at that, completely useless. Like, how rude is that? I just have all the pity in the universe for poor little useless. Please try to smile, useless data. You're not that useless to me. You warm my heart, and that is use enough, I hope. I hope. I don't want it to be sad. Hopefully it's useless enough to not have emotions. If it cannot suffer emotions, I will feel a little bit better. But man, yeah, like, oh yeah, I got an exclamation. I got surprises and prizes. Orbs, oh, they are the worst. Like, they're so simple, but I think it's in the fact that they are so simple that they become the worst. Like, well, they're simple, but not that simple either. You know, they still kind of do a thing. Like, I guess the best thing you can do is try to, like, hang out far, you know, go in the classroom while everyone's outside playing because you want to be as far as possible from everyone. This puzzle is very difficult. How do you get that quiver? I have no idea. Best plans probably to start a laundromat company and put some points into boosting up Claire some more, because I don't use the charge gun for a Mega Man gun. I didn't have a Unlock 5 yet, so no, might as well spend it all on the Claire zone, and look at that. See, I can actually up the boost time, which is a significant upgrade. And you know what? Yeah, I like the holy water, but it does drink a lot of heart. Points well spent. There's a face looking at us. Also, yeah, I'm very glad about the little bit of text that appeared at the bottom of the screen there, because I was super glad to find out that the last fight of DT1 was actually between Jeremy and Hexor. And here I get validated. It's like, yeah, I was right. Those faces, though, well, they're not really. They're accidentally. It's just, you know, it's a byproduct of the human mind. It really likes to see patterns. More importantly, even more, it really likes to see faces. That's just how the human mind is. Something that's interesting is that, you know, the speed that these color changes actually changes from section to section. Like, that's like between different rooms and whatnot. I never am able to scan a cat. Cats, they're always a danger. You're always, like, cats, you know, they're nature's best assassins. They know how to do their job. And you can't scan little red things there. I don't know, they're just enemies. Like, there will be your fate. This will be your fate, your tail, your fate. And then Jeremy found an exit. See, normally, at the time, I was like, okay, might as well stop here. There's a crystal fate. Jeremy sounds pretty excited, and they're talking about Psychopath. Okay, I'll be the first to admit, I kind of buttoned through the text pretty quick. I don't have trouble following along, but I now realize that might not be everyone. And then suddenly, it's a slow auto-scroll section with platforms, and it's all about timing yourself to be in fields. See, up to now, and I'm kind of spoiling things a little, you may have noticed that I didn't edit anything. Everything kind of fit in because I did everything my first or second try, but with the, grandiose speed that this is going, death becomes a tiny little bit more costly. Like, not costly, but enough to make an impact. Always remember, red spikes you can't dash through. And it's exciting to see that, so soon after you get the air dash, you can, get thrust into crazy situation up in the air. Like, this is a game where it's cool to get a power-up, but you need to realize that as soon as you're going to get your power-up, that's just like one extra wrinkle that's going to be added to all the future platforming challenges. So, It kind of not alleviates, not anything like that. That's too strong, but you always gotta keep perspective, I guess. But I mean that's true for everything. Whether you're making a cabbage garden. Oh yeah, at some point these guys changed their resistance, and it was gravity. Pretty wild, I know. I just didn't want anyone to be confused. I mean, confusion, it makes like star appear above your head, and then you aim like to hit that yeti there with your sword, but instead you end up hitting the rabbit, and that creates this whole crazy roundabout like game of chicken wire, where it turns out the cabbage monster in World 3 is gonna have lightning resist, and that's just gonna completely wreck up the plan you had for future Nerd Fire Farm potato potions. But that's okay, don't worry about it. That never existed. This is the level about where you gotta figure out where you go. But as you can see, like, it's no spoilers that I'm gonna make it here, because I have, like, it started from the start, and there was, even if there weren't any acceleration, like, so you can, like, basically making a mistake is dangerous, because almost everything will kill you in one shot, but you have just enough leeway so that if you're careful and your platforming is on point, you're gonna be fine. You'll be able to make it, in one go. And that's how you can tell that a platforming game is a good one. It's something, I know it's easy to point out things when things are done bad, but it's hard to point out when they're done good. So I want to take the time to point out how done good this is. I was like, yeah, another section, except this time the thingy's faster. This time I do die a bit, and there will be some skip death, because this just gets kind of silly. Like, it doesn't take long for your eyes to adjust to the speed, but it does go significantly faster than the other one, and it's kind of a jump. And I mean, the game isn't afraid to, force you to learn by dying a few times in a new section. As long as it happens early enough, it's like, it doesn't really have that big of an impact. It's like, yo, let's go, Claire. You got a tiny bird on your head, got a rainbow bird on your bar, you got bird wings on your back. Everyone is ready. Chow is almost a bird, except fairies are more like insects. They're more bugs. They reproduce through hives that are growing on the backs of pachyderms. Yeah, like from here on, like, it's all a blind read, and it still does pretty well. It's just, you gotta be careful. You gotta be on point. Gotta look at the future and go like, nuts to y'all, future. I ain't wanna mess with you. And then things are being said, and there's data control. I'm just standing on the wrong side of the screen. Join me next time when the abomination comes back and says hello. Well, technically, the hello part was already done, but we're gonna say hello. Like, it's gonna say hello again, and we're gonna say hello back.